I'm thrilled to have with us today Isabella Löwengrip. Amongst being regarded as the first influencer in Sweden and paving the road for many others to follow, she is a serial entrepreneur, having founded multiple organizations and driven them to huge success. Please join me in a warm applause welcoming Isabella up on stage.
Hi.
Hey.
So nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time. Have you enjoyed the show so far?
Yes, it's always interesting to listen to other, smart people with a great knowledge, trying to learn something.
So what made you say yes to coming here today?
I've never been here before. I dropped off school when I was 16, so I've never, been in this kind of environment before. So it's cool to meet smart people.
Well, we're very happy to have you here. And I tried to summarize your different experiences, but perhaps you could tell us briefly about your journey and your current positions.
I feel so old because I started my career when I was 16 and I'm 32 today. But everything are based from my blog. And I started a blog when I was 14. And it became the biggest one 2 years later, and that have been my platform for a foundation to start 11 companies. But only 3 of them really succeed, and the rest was a disaster. Mm-hmm. And I think that's quite common for an entrepreneur to start companies, and some of them doesn't work. It's a failure, but it's fine. But I don't think that's so normal to start 5 companies, 6 companies, 7 companies. I think it's more normal people. Maybe they decide after 5 companies that doesn't work, that maybe I should go back to school or to be employed somewhere. So I think we're kind of crazy people that start 7 times and it's gonna work.
But well, you seem like a very ambitious person, especially founding 11 companies. Where do you think this drive comes from? Have you always been like that?
I know that the drive comes from a tough background, and I think that's quite a cliche. But I grew up with a dad who was an alcoholic, and I moved out just before I turned 15 years old. And I had this fantastic apartment just around the corner. And I had a lot of parties there, and I was very popular, 15 years old, have my own apartment, so a lot of older guys there, so I was happy. So the drive was, just to be independent, to feel safe, to have my own foundation, to build something that I don't want to. My dad wasn't able to have control of everything and his, alcoholic problems, and I think it's more difficult to be successful with a company if you come from a rich family. I think you have to have that kind of drive. You want to run from something, and I have dated a lot of guys. And the ones that come from old money, fantastic childhoods, maybe they start studying finance, they're gonna work in a bank, and they become half rich. But if you want to meet billionaires, you have to meet guys that dropped off school, that have a tough childhood. So you're just gonna be half rich. So drop off school, and then you can become the billionaire guy.
Okay, but starting at the way beginning, when you were...
Sorry for being so honest.
No, we like it, we like it. But well, at the beginning, as you said, you started your blog at 15 years old, 14 years old?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, and somewhat built your career as an influencer back then. How do you think that occupation differs today from the time that you started?
It's such a big difference, of course. A few years ago, I was awarded the most powerful businesswoman in Sweden. I was 28. And I don't think that, the old men that gave me the award, thought that they would give an award to somebody that started a blog a few years ago. So it's more accepted today. And when I started, the word influencer didn't exist. So I was a blogger. And I don't think that a lot of people understood how powerful it could be to have your own platform. And so I built a platform, I started companies, and today when you see it's most of them are like young women, and they have their platform and they can grow from that. So they are always one step ahead. Yeah. So I love it, and still today I'm a business investor, an angel investor, and I love that kind of work. But using my platform with Instagram and TikTok and Be Real and everything, that's the best thing I know. I love to, do dances with my daughter, and she's 8 years old, and sometimes we have like 400,000 views. It's fun. So it's quite fun to have one foot in the TikTok world and the other one in the venture capital.
Oh, nice.
It's a great mix. Yeah.
I mean, and it worked out because when you were just 19, you earned your first 1 million kroner and actually decided to drop out of gymnasium. Tell us a bit about daring to do so as a teenager.
Yeah, so I was 16 when I dropped off, 19, the first million. It wasn't a big thing for me because, like I said, I've been living by my own for a few years. At that time, I lived with a guy. We had this apartment. I lived like a grown-up life when I was 16, 17 years old. And I earned a lot of money. So go to school, and I have these, teachers, and they were like boring, and they earned like 30,000 Swedish crowns every month, and I had like a salary of 100,000 Swedish crowns. So I didn't see, the value of being there. But I had good grades. I always had very easy to learn, but it was boring. So at that time, I think I had 2 companies. I was about to start my third. And I remember before I dropped off, I went to Jensen Norra. And I always had my assistant with me in school. So she couldn't get into the class, of course, but she was sitting in the cafeteria outside. So after every class, I was going out, and she was talking about me, and the next meeting, I have to fly somewhere. But the teacher, they didn't like it.
I mean, it's quite different.
Yeah, it's quite different. Yeah, so maybe they were happy, me leaving the school. Everything was normal again.
And do you think you would have made the same decision of dropping out of gymnasium if you hadn't earned a bit of money at the same time? Because you, I guess, had something to fall back on if it didn't work out.
Good question. But I don't think it was because of the money. I wanted just to create some things. I wanted to start. I'm very a creative person. So I think, if I found something to do, I just, I had to do it. And if the school was in the way, I can always do school later, but it's hard if you find this fantastic idea, you want to do it right now. But if I should choose something to study before, of course, economy. Because the toughest part I had in my company is that sometimes I didn't understand 100% of something, and then you rely on somebody else doing the budget and counting everything. So you're very you have to listen and to other people all the time. And that can be quite scary, and they can say wrong, and that is why 7 companies didn't work.
Yeah, so we're at the right place studying economy.
You're the right place.
Okay, nice. But I mean, dropping out worked out for you because at 21 years old, you founded Löwengrip Beauty.
Yeah.
An international success. And tell us a bit about how you built this business into such a massive international organization.
Oh, yeah, I started, that was my first baby, Löwengrip. And then I became a mother when I was 23 and then 24. I got married when I was 22, and then I got divorced a few years later. Everything chaos. So what was your question?
Well, how did you, as you said, it was kind of your baby.
Yeah.
And you started it by yourself and built it into somewhat of a massive empire. How did you go about it?
I think the key, really the key to success when you want to build a company is you have to choose something that you have passion about. Because the companies that didn't succeed, it was only about that I wanted to become like successful. I wanted to earn money. I wanted to have my like article in Dagens Industri, like showing my face and this is like successful woman. But when I realized that I have to start something like really from my heart, then it's much more easier to like continue while you grow when you're going through tough times. And when you're building your company, you're gonna have tough times all the time. So, and if you have passion about it, it's gonna be much more easier. So Löwengrip, it is a beauty company, and we're selling in I think it's 9 countries. But I sold it 3 years ago, and then we had a turnover of 100 million.
100 million kronor.
100 million kronor.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Finance people. And you know, the timing is everything. And I was the first like influencer beauty brand. Today we have many of them. And it was important for me also with the storytelling. So if you're going to launch like a new business and you have the passion, you have built a perfect team, then you have to have a storytelling. And for me, I had a lot of problems with acne when I was a teenager. So I wanted to create this beauty brand that, you know, was good for your skin. And with that story, it was very easy to do, like to talk about it. And I chose to be only in the pharmacies because, you know, it related good for that kind of skin problems and everything was fragrance free. So, you know, passion, timing, team, stories, they're very important. Yeah,
okay, awesome. And I feel like your life started way ahead of everyone here's. I mean, you had your assistant in high school. But I think I read in one of your blogs that you had at that time, or I think around that time, every day, every hour, planned ahead for the next 3 months. And what do you think was the toughest thing you had to sacrifice founding Löwengrip Beauty at such an early age?
My marriage. Because I lived with a man that didn't want me to be like a successful woman that, you know, I was abroad, I was working so hard. And he didn't want that. He wanted me to be more home, like the classical mom. And I took that decision that I ended the relationship. And that's very important. If you have someone in your like family or relationship or your friends that doesn't like support you all the time, you have to like quit. And also, but the most sad part is I didn't have so much time with my kids. And I can really, really, really regret that today. I have a daughter and she's 8 and my son is 9. And today we have this, fantastic relationship because when I sold my company 3 years ago, I've been more like home. But the time will never come back. And that's a bit sad, but It is what it is.
Okay, yeah, but it's very nice of you to also share kind of the difficult parts of being a successful entrepreneur, because you do give up a lot of time. And now, speaking a bit about the challenges of that, everyone has experienced certain setbacks in their life. Are there any ones which you can point to now, from which you have really learned the most and I guess developed most as a person?
I have a lot of setbacks and challenging parts in my career. Like when I was at the top, I have to start there. It's much more fun. No. When I was at my top, I was renting an apartment in New York. It was huge, and I had this fantastic view over Central Park. I was about to start my firm over there. Back in Sweden, I had a chef at home.
Okay.
Like a lot of staff just helping me everywhere. And I was so happy, this is my life. But a few months later, I went almost bankrupt. So I had 14,000 kronor at my Swedish bank account. And from that to 14,000 kronor, and you have to sell your house, get rid of all the employees. That was tough, just to change everything. But to lose money, it wasn't that kind of big problem, because I grew up with nothing. But the hard part was that everything that I built up since I was a teenager, it just disappeared, everything. So I went from this to this, and I was like in 4 weeks I was going bankrupt. I have to start over. I have to rent a small apartment somewhere. I don't have an education, so I was thinking where can I work? Can I be a marketing managed person somewhere? So that was hard to go through that kind of, and because I'm a public person, the media was following everything all the time. So after that I was in the hospital for 1 month and did something called ECT. I don't know how to elchocksbehandling. How do you say that in English?
I have no idea. Someone, I don't know.
So I did that extreme thing because I was so depressed and I didn't want to live anymore. So before, I'm a happy person, so it's quite hard to see that, when I'm talking about that sad person. But I was quite near to end my life because of that, everything was going down and everybody laughed at me and say, Isabella, we knew that nothing gonna work with you. So I was at the mentally, Danderyds sjukhus for 1 month, and through that time I was able to sell Löwengrip. The richest man in Norway come, on a horse, bought it, and from that my life, start over. So I have a totally different life today than before.
But thanks a lot for sharing that. I mean, that's very, very brave of you. And I mean, you're coming back stronger now. Your entrepreneurship journey 2.0, stepping back into the corporate world. And I actually, go ahead.
No, but it's so important because you can read about, the entrepreneur stars, in Sweden and abroad, and they're, having this money and they're looking good and they're doing this meditation every morning. They go up 5 in the morning, drink, meditation, everything. But they also have a tough, something behind. And everybody goes through tough times, and you don't never know, what's the true behind everything. And it's so important for me to talk about the tough part as well, because there's a mental issues and problems. So I think it's important to say it out loud.
Yeah, and I mean, as you said, I think on social media especially, everyone just shows off their good side and their successful endeavors. But I guess, so thank you for sharing the difficult side as well. But going through those setbacks, do you think there are certain mindsets or traits necessary to live through that adversity and to make it, especially as an entrepreneur?
So what kind of mindset do you need to have?
Yeah, what kind of mindset, or what kind of, do you have to be some type of person to live
you have
that?
to be brave, of course, and prestigeless. You have to be able to, to say to yourself, this is, it didn't work, it's fine, I can do it again, and to be nice to yourself. And but I think brave and prestigeless, that's two good things to have.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah. And now I actually saw your new investment in Plegium.
Yeah.
I think it's called Plegium, right? So you're stepping back into the corporate world.
And TikTok world.
And technology. Okay. No, nice. So what, as Adam asked earlier, what are you kind of investing in? What type of business are attractive to you? Is it maybe businesses who contribute to societal change as Plegium, or what do you?
Yes, I think all the venture capitals and business angels today, the only focus is on companies that have a great social impact. And before you were just talking about growth all the time, like who can run to the US as fast as possible. Today it's more important about being profitable. And all the venture capitals, they're going to ask about that and to have like a more healthy way forward. And I'm looking for a lot of like, of course, social impact, but more like health. A lot of like female founders in the business world. Mm-hmm. It isn't like I think it's like 1% of the venture capital money in Sweden goes to women, and I think it's less than 1% that goes to women. And of course, with my voice, my journey, my platform, I can do something about it. Mm. So of course, I have to have this kind of focus to change something. But it's not, it's not only that. It's all types of people and branches. But health is very fun, and like you said, with Plegium, it's a self-defend spray, and the technology behind it's great. It's a smart one, and so it's great. It's fun to join both like safety and health. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome. And you're also currently starting, I saw like new endeavors such as a podcast with Sheila?
I have two podcasts.
Yeah, two podcasts. One you have already, and one you're starting.
Yes, right? I'm gonna launch the second one on Thursday.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
It will be sure to tune in.
Yeah, and that's about culture. I never talked about that in like podcast, because I love books and like it's going to be so fun to talk about something else and just entrepreneurship. Yeah. To focus on like other things. So you have to listen to it. The name is Fint, fult och pengar. Så fin kultur, full kultur och pengar.
Okay. I tried to translate it, but my Swedish is not that good yet. Okay, but sorry, moving back to the entrepreneurship part, I'm sure a lot of us here are really looking to create our own company as well and kind of start our own path, maybe now or after leaving school. What is some advice you would share with us to make it as an entrepreneur?
Just try. Yeah, I meet a lot of people. They want to have everything 100% correct before they're doing something, and stop doing that. Just go out, try, make failures, take a step back, learn from it, and then go out again. It's important. It's impossible to make a business you have to try, and then you can see which strategy you should have as, when you're building a company. So try, buy people lunch, pick a person that are smart, have done the journey before, and buy lunch at them and just talk, meet people all the time, build your network. And when you have a network, you have to share it. You have to share it with other entrepreneurs. You never sit this with your network, help people and help each other. And that's, I think, this school is amazing. I think your network here is fantastic, and so many people, and try to connect people with each other. And if I should give myself a 20-year-old me any advice, I would say that network more. Because you have so much people in the school, and somebody are going to build the biggest company in Sweden, maybe in the world. So get to know everybody, and also from other schools, and take jobs, talk to people. I know that's rare in Sweden, but if you are in the elevator, talk to that person instead of being quiet.
I'm not sure if they will like that.
No.
I've been told don't sit next to a person on the bus. So,
but if you're sitting on a plane and you're going to sit beside each other for 3 hours, it's very strange not to talk to that person.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's better just to introduce yourself, and you can always you can find something great in all people that you meet.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. But thanks so much for sharing that. And I think it's almost time to sadly wrap up the interview, but we're going to do it in a sassy spirit. So we will have 5 quick rapid fire questions. So answer them as instinctively as possible.
Okay.
Okay, so what is the best advice you've ever received?
I have to be fast. No, but just go your own way. You know, don't care so much. In Sweden, we are so afraid of what everybody should think and say behind your back, and don't care. You know, if I've been starting 11 companies, of course, people in my journey would say, you know, Isabella, you're going to fail. You have failed with 6 once. You're going to fail with the rest of them too. So just have your own way. Don't care so much. It sounds easy. It's hard, but just try it.
Yeah.
Long answer for.
No. I do like the long answers too. But who is your inspiration?
That's a tricky one. When I was working with Löwengrip, I had Estée Lauder. She's a famous, beauty entrepreneur. So I wanted to become the new Estée Lauder in the world. But because of, almost going bankrupt, I had to sell the company, and it didn't go that way. But it's fine. Okay. Everything has a meaning. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't really put rapid fire questions on here, but so what is your favorite movie or TV series?
Oh, it's not my favorite movie, but this weekend I saw Young E on Netflix. It's about like AI robots, like how it's very like dark, and you don't want to have kids in the future when you see that movie, so maybe don't see it. But it was very like exciting to see. And the favorite like TV series, it's Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey.
And that's because I can live my like career woman person, and I can just think about a life in a castle with long dresses, and I don't have to think about something else, just the clothes that I should wear.
On that, what's one thing you maybe regret spending money on?
The apartment in New York.
The apartment in New York. Okay. Yeah.
It cost, I have to say it loud, it cost in Swedish 250 000 kronor I månaden. So I really regret that. I should put those kind of money and invest them in something, in Avanza or something. Mm-hmm. But
in that apartment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was fun,
Yeah, for some time.
Some time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And what is one thing you're maybe looking forward to now in your personal life or professional life? Just to continue investing in other entrepreneurs. So if you have a company, if you want to have company with me, send an email. I'm really looking for like young people with smart ideas. I think it's fun. So maybe you can send out my email somewhere. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's give a big round of applause. Okay, we have some flowers to show Gary. Thank you so much, Isabella. Thank you.